the resolution enabling the Economic Development Authority, and then also the statute specific to economic development authorities. So an EDA needs to elect from amongst its members a president, a vice president, and a treasurer, and they can appoint an assistant treasurer and secretary that does not need to be from amongst the commissioners. In the enabling resolution, it does say in section 6 that the administrator shall always serve as the assistant treasurer for the authority. And the administrator is the second signature on the checks that come from the city. And what I would recommend, given that the mayor's signature is the first signature on every check, is that the mayor is a potential candidate to be treasurer of the EDA as well, and then those signatures will be consistent from the city to the checks that are issued on behalf of the EDA, since they do essentially are handled in the same manner. And then the secretary, and I believe that's in the statute, the offices of secretary and assistant treasurer need not be held by a commissioner, and because the city clerk keeps the minutes of your meetings, then it would also be a possibility for you to have Linda be the secretary of your EDA. So given that I've already provided you with three of your offices, possibilities for three of your offices, then that would leave you with the president and vice president officers to be included in your election of officers. So, is that enough background? Do you want any more background?
That's good.
Okay.
Is this something you need to do every year?
Yes, it is annually. Let me see if I can.
When's the last time we did it?
I don't
Probably
know.
1991.
Yeah, right.
2007?
When the policy
Yeah,
manual was
91.
put together.
Yeah,
Right,
you guys did this
right.
whole thing.
Let me see where the authority shall elect a president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and assistant treasurer. The authority shall elect the president, treasurer, and secretary annually. A commissioner must not serve as president and vice president at the same time. The other offices may be held by the same commissioner. But so you must elect your president, your treasurer, and your secretary annually. But in this occasion, you also need a vice president and an assistant treasurer.
Oh, I don't think there's gonna be much campaigning.
Every year, wow.
Can we just open the floor up for nominations? We close it?
Yeah, you guys can take it from there.
Oh, we got three of them.
Right,
I
well.
thought we should probably make a
Yeah.
motion on the treasurer and the assistant treasurer.
Secretary?
Yeah, I think we should do
I would
that.
make that motion to
I-
appoint as we've discussed.
Yeah, the
I'd
treasurer
second
would be the mayor, the assistant treasurer Teresa, and the secretary Linda.
Yep.
Okay, we've got a first and a second. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Three down.
3 down, 2 down.
Half done.
The hard part.
Did something
Yeah.
we haven't done in 26 years.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to
It
think
took
of.
us.
Or what else we miss some days.
Yeah.
So procedure, we just nominate for a position, I mean,
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
nothing in the statute that.
Okay. And so I
dictates how it happens, but.
since we have a leader, are you willing to?
It's every year this gets voted on.
Okay.
President every year, so I think he's asking Jeff.
I'll do that for this year,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Nominate
Yeah.
Jeff, please. It's not our 26-year term.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I would Jeff Stevenson as president.
Okay.
President.
Right. Any motions on that? Okay.
Jeff Stevenson.
That's your motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a second?
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed?
Now, vice president.
At least three of you.
I'll-
Jump in.
Nobody's jumping?
Or you could elect Julie since she's.
Yeah, I'll do
Or
it.
Mike.
Or
I can do it.
There are 2 positions left, right?
Yeah. So Dan.
We're gonna make a motion to have Dana.
Okay.
We should have Mike Langen. Oh, he ain't here. I think I know what his answer is. Make a motion to elect Dan as vice president.
I would second that.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Number 3, enabling resolution.
So it's in your packet, something for you to, use as a resource. There were a couple other notes that I made that are on page 4. In section 8, it talks about a report, annually to the council. And, in section 9, it talks about, appearing before the council, as requested to explain and discuss the content of the proposed authority budget. So, if you, read through this and notice some other things, I'm happy to put it back on your agenda for your next meeting, and you can have some further discussion about items that are included in your enabling resolution.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Teresa on that at all?
I just see the verbiage that says city clerk administrator, I mean,
Yes.
do we just wanna
Well,
write that to say
I
administrator?
think we
or-
could even pass a new resolution to clean up
To clean
some
it
of the
up.
items that were, or the council could pass a new resolution, so we
Okay.
could work on, cleaning up some verbiage and then maybe send a recommendation to the council at your next meeting if you.
So do we wanna do that, everybody review this and then come back with a recommendation? That sound good?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
been around for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on that? If not, policy and procedures manual.
And, I don't know how many of you were aware that you had a policy and procedures manual. And I see that it's dated 2007, so again, I would just, find out if you'd like to review this and come back, and make some recommendations. This is the document that includes the verbiage with the interest rate currently at 3%, and we kinda got caught on that when Mr. Drips came looking for a loan. So that's the one item, that I caught right away, but I know we wanna go back and have some discussion about the interest rate on your, revolving loan funds. So, again,
I think we should do the same thing.
Okay.
Just let's review
Look
it,
at
come
it.
back to next meeting, yeah, it'd be a good idea.
okay.
Anything else, anybody seen that jumped out at them though? No?
2,000. It says your business has gotta be in Casa or 2,000 feet within it.
Yeah. There are a lot of
Things like that
can be
get-
cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of this application process, maybe that's a little outdated too.
Yeah.
Rich, you maybe have some insight on some of those things too, with, some of the financial stuff, so maybe we could lean on you for some of that.
And I will review it in light of the statute and
There you
just
go,
make sure
yeah.
that there's, if there's something in statute that directly relates to it, that we have that covered, I can do that.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause there's always that.
yeah. Okay, great, anybody got anything else on that? All right, number 5, Trinity Growth Regional Dashboard. And I got some information on that if Teresa wants me to.
Yes,
you know,
please.
go through that.
We got very limited information at the SBML meeting, so other than the fact that they were asking for money.
Yeah, that was for money.
We did get that out of it.
We did get that out of it.
Which, you know.
Yeah,
So,
and-
please,
Yeah,
yes.
and, you know, this meeting was a while ago I was at, so, yeah, I'm gonna do the best I can
Okay.
with all this, but, we had a meeting up in Orinoco, the Journey to Growth Committee that I'm on, and we talked about this at length, and, the lady from the southeast Minnesota,
Mhm.
Brenda, her name Brenda was there.
Yeah.
And went through this also, but, the long and the short of it, they're getting, $275,000 appropriation from the general fund, from the state. That's a one-time appropriation that's going to CEDA, in Chatfield. And, what they're gonna do is they're gonna hire an outfit, they're gonna analyze the effects of current proposed economic growth in southeastern Minnesota. So they're going to, try with this grant, and apparently, they're quite, certain they can get a lot of information for that amount of money. They're gonna they wanna know population growth info, diversity in southeastern Minnesota, the types of businesses that are here and that maybe wanna come here. So they're talking about, transportation, housing, infrastructure, you know, all those types of things. What they're gonna do is get this information, and then that's where the dashboard comes into play. And what's, a neat thing about this dashboard and, what it can do is it's gonna be specific to each city. So you'll have information at your fingertips here with the dashboard that is just applicable to Casson. In other words, if you have a developer that comes in here, you know, he'll be able to look or can ask you about infrastructure. You know, what's your water capacity, what's your sewer capacity, what's your, job force, you know, all those types of things, specifically to here. It's not just southeastern Minnesota. It should be user-friendly, so in other words, the gals in the office will be able to use it, you know, so, it'll target developers, so developers also can go onto this site and find places they wanna go. I think it's gonna even be as, detailed as, you know, your schools, that type of thing, which is a real strength for us, of course. So it's gonna talk about quality of life, all that things, and I think what they're asking for, and I'm wrong, but they're just, this dashboard, they're looking for about 21 grand, was that correct?
Well, that was the current
Yeah.
quote they had, right?
Yeah, it was about $21,000, and, which doesn't seem like much to develop this dashboard either, but they're quite, you know, certain they can get it done for close to that. But it's gonna, I think it's a good thing, you know, real good thing.
So on the, cause they asked for a donation of.
Right.
A contribution of whatever
Right.
X, you know, we could fill in the blank, or
Yeah.
5, 1,000, 2, whatever we wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, is there a fee to use the dashboard after it's up and operational? Or is it kinda, it's gonna be just available to the city, we're just choosing to say, hey, we'd like to participate, and here's
That's
X amount of
what
dollars?
my take on it was.
Okay.
That's what my take.
Or don't donate, you don't get to use it.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I do not know that. I don't know that.
It didn't sound that way, it
It
sounded like it's
didn't
gonna
sound
be
that
available to
way.
you, it's
I
just a
think
matter of how much you
it's,
wanna donate for.
yeah, I think it's, I think you'd be able to use it either way, but I really think it's important that the city, gets on board with this thing. I mean, because I know it's important to the Journey to Growth outfit, it's important to ready all the players that are out there right now, that the cities that are getting with the program, in other words, give the
Mhm.
money, regardless what they say, I think they know who does and who doesn't, put it that way. For sure, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But, there's some real, I mean, actually, I was really, afraid that this Journey to Growth thing was leading nowhere, because there's, 11 committees, I believe, and 220-some people involved, and, when you get that many people and that many opinions, nothing ever gets done. But it really looks like things are getting done. I know they've got this little blurb, video now that they can use, that, schools are making, they're going in there saying what do you like about your community, they're making videos, submitting them, and they're picking so many and making that, they're gonna change that every year. And I think KM's gonna get on board with that, the way it sounds next year. I don't think they got into it this year, it's gonna be part of the curriculum in a lot of schools. And if they win, they can, or two of them win, they can go to this film festival, and they, there's more things for them. So, I mean, I think a monetary reward also. But the gals that are doing this through Journey to Growth, and two of them are on my committee, are just powerhouse smart women. I mean, they know exactly what's going on, they're good at what they do. So there's a lot of talent here, so I think it's something, and I've got another note here, it's not only gonna attract businesses, but also people. At work, there's a lot of indicators, social and economic, so it's not just, what do you got for us for businesses in town, but what do you have socially? Like parks, which we're strong in, school, which we're strong in, the quality of life issues, so, March 15th, there's a Ready Luncheon, an annual luncheon also that, somebody should attend. I've got that here, I think it's like $35 or something. Got someplace in my mess of stuff here.
I think I've seen it too.
Yeah.
Okay, at the, airport,
Yes,
at the
it
event
is.
center.
Yep, it is. And I think that's important, that somebody go to that, 'cause again, there's gonna be a lot of mover and shakers there. I got it here somewhere, but.
Yeah.
And you probably got it, Teresa, so.
Yeah, I can definitely get a hold of it.
And April 20th, after that March 15th Ready meeting, there's at the Hubble House, there's a meeting, and that's, I think all the Journey to Growth people are gonna be there, and they're gonna do the speed, Brenda Johnson,
Yep,
from.
SEMLS,
Yeah,
yeah.
Exec Director asked if they'd do another presentation at the April 20th meeting at the Hubble House. So it's like, where the committee chairs, all the committee chairs for Journey to Growth, are gonna give a brief update to the other committee chairs as they rotate from table to table. The SEMLM wants us to do the same for them, where the members can learn more about each of the committees in general and Journey to Growth in general. Anyone can attend the meeting. If you're interested, there's a website here, so.
Okay.
And I'll get that to you, so you
Yeah,
can get it to.
I'll share it with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that'd be important too, you can meet all the chairs for the Journey to Growth, 'cause, forgive me, but we're into the marketing, I believe, is our group. It's changed several times. But there's marketing, there's education, there's, transportation, every aspect of Journey to Growth.
How many years have they got left on this Journey to Growth?
Well, yeah, it was a
5
5,
years.
so I think we've been in 2 years, this is our second year. And this CEDA, the report that's gonna come out, the recommendation study, the committees of the House Representatives, it's gonna be, it has to be done by February 15th of 2018. Oh, no, that's wrong, that was we're gonna try to do it that quick, I think it's 19 now. Yeah, February 15th of 2019, and it has to be, available for use by cities in southeast Minnesota by March 15th, 2019. I'm gonna try to do it by 18, but we decided at that meeting, actually, that was gonna be too quick. By the time they got funding, it would've been July of this year, and they just.
Scrambled to get it together.
So, they thought they could do it, Brenda thought they could do it, but, the CEDA guy, Ron, I believe his name is.
Ron Ziegler,
Yeah,
yep.
he said
Pretty
that,
good.
that'd be too quick, so.
Okay.
It sounds to me like this information would complement anything else that we have, or the council.
Actually.
If the council goes the direction with the
Exactly.
Stuxnet.
Said it's gonna help with that.
It would complement
Yep,
with that totally different set of data points that we're getting
right,
overlaid, so.
right.
Yeah.
It would make
And I
sense.
think it would be easy for staff here too, if somebody, a developer says, hey, what do you got? You could both ways, you could go, is it Buxton, you said?
Mhm.
You have Buxton, you could contact them, they could contact, but also you're gonna have a lot of information right at your fingertips here, you can handle right away.
Mhm.
Because as we all know, developers sometimes are frugal.
Plus they're in a hurry.
They're flighty.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. They're in a hurry, they want information now, because otherwise they'll move on to the next. And developers, no matter if they're 60 years old or what, they're like millennials, they're gone. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, they wanna hurry up and do something, they've got it in their mind, and they've got the
Yep.
backing, and.
Yeah,
So do we have EDA dollars that we could
I don't know
put
that.
toward this, or would it just come out of the general fund?
That you could put towards
The request for the
Yeah.
dashboard.
The dashboard,
Yeah.
yes, you do have money for memberships, and, you do have money for professional fees. Do you wanna know exactly how much you have? I can go find it for you right now.
That may be nice to know,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
then you kinda
determine.
determine
how much
Okay.
you
Yeah.
have. 21.
What's that?
Put the full 21 in.
That coming out of your pocket?
Don't bring that number back.
No, as long as that,
I
the
think
dashboard is
I think
only
it's
for
a
our
couple
use
thousand.
then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't bring that number back, we got something else.
That was a one-time fee,
Yeah.
one-time, just an upfront.
Yep.
We're just looking for a donation to
It's a
get through.
donation to get back going. I'm sure there's gonna be ongoing, but I think that, the Southeast Minnesota, I think they're gonna be, or CEDA will just keep it. Somebody will.
How often do you keep updating, or hasn't that been brought up?
Has
as
not
far
been
as-
brought up, that I know of.
And it might be a one-time.
Brenda would know that probably, but I don't know if it's brought up at that meeting.
Does this Southeast Minnesota, does that go all the way to Red Wing? Part of the.
Journey to
Journey to
Growth
Growth?
does, Journey to Growth
Journey to
does.
Growth does, okay.
Yeah, we have people from, Red Wing all the way to, I think, Owatonna now to Winona.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically south of the
Yes,
metro.
I think it's
down
11
35.
counties, but maybe 12 now. I think Steele County's joining in now, so.
Okay.
The more they talk about, the more people
Yeah,
are realizing it's a
yeah.
benefit to the county.
And they're getting
businesses.
close, they've hired a firm, or they're close to hiring a firm now to do the branding stuff, so. And, their ultimate goal is, come up with something like, the Silicon Valley did out there in California, but something, I don't know what it's gonna be, but leave that to the branding professionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will include your actual budget in your next packet, so that you'll have a print copy of it.
Okay.
So, places that you have some funds, membership and dues, $3,150. It looks like we've spent between $150 and $250 per year. So we have $3,150 budgeted this year. Other services, there's $4,000 budgeted. In the previous year, $2,000 was spent. And then, I have another category that includes our Smith contribution, and we would have an additional $1,000 on the line item where we make our contribution to Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation. So, so it could come from one of those pools, one or more of those pools.
Well, the dues,
I don't think we wanna spend that much.
I think the dues, didn't we, increase that because we wanna have more of a presence going to like meetings and stuff, wasn't it, or?
Yeah, we'll say,
I think that's what we're doing.
Meeting dues and fee, or membership. Actually, for meetings and conferences, you have $2,000.
Okay, what was
Just
the
for
other?
meetings and conferences,
Yeah.
and then you have membership dues and fees of $3,150.
that's where the, joining,
Yeah.
like, SIA or different.
Right.
Mhm.
Other services, you have $4,000 budgeted, and then you had $2,000 budgeted in a category where, it included $1,000 for Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation. So those are a couple line items, where there are funds available.
Cool.
Well, it'd be my recommendation would go with like the middle figure, maybe go $1,000. Does that make sense to everybody, or is that too much, or?
I think if you're looking at 21,000 total, Casson doing 1,000,
Pretty
we're one
good.
of the top 6 by population in that whole southeast Minnesota, when you take out Roch, Red Wing,
Yeah.
Owatonna, Winona, Faribault, Northville, if they're in there.
And some of these smaller towns are gonna give you the 100 or 250.
Yeah.
I think that's,
I think it's a fair.
we should be able to get something out of it.
Yeah,
And I'll take that out of, since it's a round number, I'll take that from the same category as we did the $1,000 for Smith, and then we will have just spent our 2,000. 1,000 Smith and 1,000 to Journey to Growth.
Good.
Do we need a motion and a
Yeah.
second?
Yep.
Yes, you should do that.
I'll move that we allocate $1,000 to the Journey to Growth.
Good.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, we'll take care of that.
Money well spent, I think.
I think, folks,
Yep.
so we wanted to know more about it before we gave them money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I'm gonna do, probably a better job of reporting back to this committee too, 'cause, we have not met since this last meeting, and, we're not gonna meet again now until in April again, so we'll meet in April. It's
Okay.
usually the second Thursday, so I'll probably report in May then, back on what we talked about
Okay,
at that meeting,
okay.
so. It's always the second Thursday that we meet. And we try to meet in all different cities, so. Red Wing might be about due.
Okay. Make that note too.
But I strongly recommend, that, in particular, at April 20th,
Okay.
if you really wanna know something about Journey to Growth.
What time is that?
Let's see, it doesn't have a time, but it's usually 5:36, and I think that's what Brenda always said, the meetings start about that time.
Okay.
But I don't have a time on here.
Maybe we
Okay.
can send that out, Teresa.
Yeah, Jeff will send me the
Yep.
link, and then I
Okay.
will provide it.
Yep.
Ask who wants to be registered to
Yep.
go, there's probably a cost.
Right there it is.
Oh, just the SCMLM?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Oh, we didn't know SCMLM meeting was at Hubble House, we just didn't know. it
That was right,
You can
yeah.
just have
No,
that.
we do
You
know
do have
that.
that?
We
Okay.
do
Yeah.
know that. We just didn't realize it was in conjunction with Journey to
Oh,
Grow.
sure, yeah, yeah, and that's
Okay.
why she's
Okay.
having it done, so that,
Okay.
your membership can,
Okay.
get more of an idea what's going
Okay.
on. That's why she came to our meeting, so we know what's going on with
Okay.
their organization, so we're not duplicating everything.
Okay,
So that-
excellent.
That is their next one. will
Yeah,
be April.
yep, we knew that, we just had to put the two and two
Everybody.
together.
There's too many numbers sometimes.
It seems like everybody's duplicating
Yeah,
everything, so
yeah.
I think that's one of the main
Okay.
reasons we've slowed down too, because, that's what was going on the first year.
Mhm.
Everybody's duplicating everything.
Yes.
You know, and just if this information was out there, we'd go and do all kinds of work, every committee would, and then you'd get to the end of the day, it's already, all this work been done anyway. Somebody else would find it on a
Mhm.
website and go, oh, this has already been done.
Yep.
And everybody's heads down, and
Right, on darn.
all this work for
Okay.
nothing, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Okay, any other questions that, I may be able to answer on Journey to Growth? Okay, any other business?
Well, I could just cover, update you on a couple of things from your last meeting. So, on Buxton, Cody did come do a presentation for, everyone present at the council workshop. We had one additional chamber member join us, for that presentation. I thought there were some very good questions, and I think everybody was satisfied with the answers they received and the potential, that's available through that partnership. So Cody will be back. If you go to the council packet on Dropbox, the proposal's in there. So, the council will be reviewing that proposal and making a decision about, whether or not to go, to partner with them at the meeting tomorrow night.
Okay, I got one question.
Sure.
Or maybe a couple on that. This Cody, now, is he gonna be like a guy that's out here?
Cody he's in the sales department. They will have a team to work with us.
Where's that team out of?
They are out of Texas.
But they'll be
But-
here, they'll have scheduled meetings,
Right.
times to come, but they're gonna come and.
Right, so twice a year they'll visit us, and up to once a month, we could do conference
So if
or
I'm
webinars
if
with
I'm a
them.
developer and I come into town and wanna talk to somebody,
Right.
what happens?
Well, so essentially through Buxton, there are several resources. The two that we're, concentrating on initially are, one, the business retention piece, so we'll be working with the existing businesses, helping them use the Buxton data to, improve their offerings and their marketing, in the community. And then the second one is retail recruitment. So they will be introducing us to the retailers and small restaurants that, have a fit with our customer base. And then, they would then work with the developers or the landowners to develop their site within the city. So it's for retail recruitment, not necessarily to recruit developers. The developers.
So if a developer comes to town, we'd still talk to them?
Sure.
We would, yeah.
Sure, I mean, that's, yeah.
I think the idea.
Like, we'll talk to any of them.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the idea with the Buxton thing that I liked about it was that some of the developers that I talked to, they're like, yeah, we'll develop something, but we wanna know what it's gonna be. You know, they want,
Right.
they want a fish on the line before they're willing to.
Before they spend the money.
Start going down
Right.
the next step. If we can get some people saying, hey, we wanna be there,
Exactly.
then hook them up with the developer and facilitate that, I think we could break the ice a little
Yeah,
bit.
they've got what's called, what, I remember we called it, that dashboard.
Scout.
Scout.
Scout is their dashboard, which
That
will
was
have
something-
lots of data
We'll have all the data
available
that Teresa
and-
can
right.
just.
So as far as existing businesses, then, we would have like a dashboard too then? Or
Yes,
what that would-
exactly.
that would-
Yep.
And,
Okay.
Yep.
and then it's up to the existing businesses to wanna
Yeah.
work with them and change.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
And ask questions.
Is there a cost to the existing business then?
No, but
Okay.
just right, there's just, we have a contract fee with them, it's a 50/50/50 agreement, so 50,000 the first year. If we continue all 3 years, it's an additional $50,000 for the.
And you can get out of that the first year, if you decided.
Yes, there is
to
a 10% buyout, but yes, we can
Yeah.
cancel the contract if the first year doesn't work for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of excited about that dashboard through
Yeah.
during the growth. I think that's just an additional layer of data.
Right, right.
Whole different set that you get that, in 2 years, we overlay that.
Cause that could be for the local developer that.
More the developer
Yeah.
money for the journey to growth.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
And
Yep.
they'll understand what's here and not here.
So what they would do is like if, a Taco Bell fit our area or something
Yes.
like that, they would get hold of Taco Bell and then they would match up a developer that may wanna put $400,000 into a Taco Bell, for example. They match them up, and that's how the scouting works, or?
Yeah,
Or not?
depends if it's a franchise or not, but,
Yeah.
but
Right.
what they would do is, they're gonna take the data that they gather about Casson,
Mhm.
and then they're gonna go out, and they've got a database of 3,500 retailers that they work with now,
Yep.
and they're gonna say, based on that data, Mr. Retailer, whoever it is, say it's a XYZ store,
Yeah.
they're gonna say, we found a community that you're looking for. And then they would make an introduction between the city and them, and then we start the courting process basically of saying, hey, we are the city you wanna come do business in.
And
Right.
this is why.
Let's meet,
Right.
here's why, here's our data.
These are the developers that have land, and, Cody explained that because they're planning ahead, it doesn't have to be a shovel-ready site. You know, it can be a site that's ready in 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
when they're,
Okay.
Most of them are planning out to 24 to 36 months as far as their growth plans, so.
So it'd be
Yep.
appropriate, like the guy out there by Cunningham's, he's got that land there.
Yeah.
It'd be
yeah,
something like that.
Right.
If somebody walked in and said, hey, we wanna put this up, you've got the land, let's start working
Yeah.
together and.
Yep.
right.
Make it work, or at least try.
Right.
There's no
I
guarantees.
mean, really very similar to what happened between Quick Trip and Bigelow
Yep.
Construction.
Mhm.
You know, they had Quick Trip
They
ready to
had the
come,
land
and
there.
they had the
And
land,
land,
and
and-
they had the plat, and they
Yep.
built it, and
They just so happened to be able to get together because they knew, but this
Right.
would give us the.
we would be a little more of a matchmaker.
And I think if the council does decide to go that direction, it's a good opportunity for the EDA or the council or somebody in the city to then, I've already promised the developers and builders some kind of a meeting this summer, fall about fees and other things. That's a good opportunity to get them together to say, hey, we're out looking for people.
Mhm.
We are making an investment to get the data, to have people come to Casson and do business.
Mhm.
Guys gotta get your stuff together. If somebody comes knocking on the door, who's ready?
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
or what are you willing to do, so you know when you have the conversation, so we aren't just jerking people along, it's,
Right.
hey, we're serious about bringing people to town,
Are you?
are you serious about developing the land as they come knock on your door?
What kind of success rate do these guys have? I mean, in towns our size?
You know, he had several good examples of working with small towns, Caribou, Maine, which, you could, you know, look at their
Like
website.
Sturgis, South Dakota?
Oh, yeah, Sturgis, and then in Odella, someplace.
Yeah,
Yeah, in,
There was a bunch of them that were
yeah,
our size
Texas,
that had,
yeah,
And
yep, so he had really good examples of cities of similar size.
One of them was
around
like
the
a
country.
bedroom community like us, and how he
Right.
showed how that he could make it work.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, he had really good information, I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Answered my questions.
All right, all right. And then, also at the council meeting tomorrow night, the council will be considering a proposal for a comprehensive plan. And if you need more information, that's also in Dropbox. I was impressed by how they had broken it out into stages and then, provided us with a list of what the deliverables would be at each stage. And again, a representative from Hoisington and Kogler will be at the meeting also, so, there's some.
When's the last time that was updated?
2011
But
was,
it wasn't much,
but
honestly. Not very comprehensive.
nobody's been really impressed with.
That's why we need a.
With what it is, so this,
That should be okay.
will hopefully, give us, some action steps, some things we can implement once the, plan is put together.
Is that like, planned annexation and all that stuff? involved?
Yeah, we're gonna
Like your
look.
territory.
Like your territory,
Right.
everything.
Now,
Everything,
the question-
transportation district.
The question I've got with that, you know, back, long time ago when I was in the council in the 90s, we would do a comprehensive plan. But then when the councils changed, the comprehensive plan changed.
Yeah. this
So
is-
what, I mean, how, you know, I know you're spending money on it, and I
Mhm.
believe in comprehensive plans, don't
Right.
get me wrong. But there's never nothing binding, there's just nothing you can do to keep that, is there? Continuality? You're
Not
just-
really, I think,
No.
yeah, I thought about that a lot.
Because the real problem is, a mayor only gets elected for 2 years, which is a problem as far as I'm concerned, because they can't ever implement anything. And council people are 2 and 4, it makes sense, but, because you could have it,
Mhm.
get it all set up and going in a year, and
Mhm.
new mayor comes along and says, I don't want it. It could happen.
Well,
It
yeah,
could happen,
and,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
the
Yeah, we don't
idea,
waste the
right,
money.
and the idea is to include more than just the council, so,
Okay,
we'll have the
yeah, I see
EDA
that.
included,
I
we'll
see.
have planning and
I
zoning
think the more people we
included.
engage, I
Right.
thought about that too, 'cause it's
Yeah.
like, the more I've learned in the last 6.5, 8, 10 weeks, whatever it's been.
Right.
Is, basically, the only qualifications I have to hold the seat that I have is I paid $2, signed my name, promised to turn in a campaign finance page at the end of it,
Yeah.
and showed up for a meeting.
Yeah.
Those are the only qualifications I have for being mayor.
Right.
Really, there's
Right.
no interview process, there's no
Mhm.
minimum qualifications, all that kind of stuff, so.
Right.
I think the more people we engage in the community,
Right.
hopefully,
Better chance.
knock on wood,
Right,
you get
then
more buy-in.
it's the community's job to say, hey, wait.
Get
Right.
more of the
That-
chamber
yeah.
involved and.
Just, the more
Yeah.
people we
Yeah.
involve, then
Right.
hopefully you get more buy-in. Again, though, back to your
Yeah.
point, can you guarantee it? Nope.
No,
You know,
no,
Yeah.
let's do the best you can and.
Yeah.
With what you got at the time. You can't guarantee anything, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Anything you can do now, you can change tomorrow.
Well, it makes sense to do it, but
Right.
just-
So they'll be taking a look at that as
But
well.
if we can get something out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the deliverables are there, which I think are.
Is helpful.
Yes, it's like light years ahead of
Yeah.
what happened with the last one, so. Yeah. Oh, and those are just my 2 updates on what was at your previous.
How about anything on these lots yet out here?
Well,
Hockey or anything, or?
How much we have had a lot of contact from SEMCAC.
Yeah.
We understand that they are working with MnDOT to build a transportation center. And our engineering firm provided them with those soil borings. Linda's been working with them.
They've actually they have an architect
They have an architect
doing
now.
plans for the building
Okay.
right behind us here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, the
But we
county
don't have
can give you an answer on
we
that
don't
one.
have the
Final
county
plat.
can
final
give you an answer on
plat
that one.
finished, yes.
Yeah.
Commissioners are
Yeah.
all involved in.
So the final plat
So
was
that's the county
held
process.
up by a title opinion, that was held up by some other documents to be recorded at the county, so now we have the county stuff recorded, we have the title opinion, so the engineers are now working with the final plat. And then they'll be able to close on that lot as soon as we have that recorded, as I understand it.
Okay.
And they're working, John Buckingham has the lots listed,
Okay, good.
yep.
Good.
And we've had another inquiry too, that I sent to Buckingham and Clockey
Mhm.
about the lots back here.
Oh, nice. Good.
And there's also additional lots developed now, near Quick Trip,
Quick Trip.
so, yeah. So, that's also,
Is there a way, I think I asked this at a meeting or
Mhm.
two, regarding this
Yeah.
meeting or some other meeting.
right.
Is there a way, there used to be something on the city website that you could go to and say, hey, I'm interested in coming to Cass with my business, here's an inventory of land.
Yeah.
Now, I know we could put an inventory of the lots that the city owns on there.
Right.
But is there a way then to get a link, go talk to the developers and say, hey, if you have land available for development, let us put a button here to direct them to your contact information that, and there used to be like a map, like a Google
Yeah.
Maps type thing, which show the outline of it?
Yeah, so Minnesota Deed,
Yeah.
did have an inventory of properties on their website. As I understand it, they're revamping that inventory, software. And so as soon as they have that software ready to go, then we would load our available lots
Okay.
into, and then we could put a link from our website to link to Deed's, property inventory. But I also went to a meeting in Orinoco maybe more than a month ago now. But, the word at the time is that they're still updating that piece.
It'd just be
Yeah.
nice to have another source.
Yeah.
If I wanna come to the city of Casson with a business.
Right.
I might go to the city website and say, oh, what if I wanna
Where's
come
our-
to.
Is it even
Right,
worth
where's
going?
our
I've
lot?
seen everything else they
See
have.
a list of where the property's
Yeah.
at and.
Yeah,
Well,
and what's nice is that if it's hosted at the Minnesota Deed website, it could be anybody looking to locate in Minnesota
Sure.
would also find that inventory, so they wouldn't necessarily have to have already chosen a physical
Well,
location.
with Byron kinda running out of lots over there,
Mhm.
we have some.
I'll
Good.
make a call to Natalie Sedaris and see where they are with that update.
Okay, anybody else got any other business at all? Okay. Open for a motion to adjourn.
So
Make that
moved.
motion.
There's a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.